Hello everybody, Chef Bravo over here for Bravo Plant-Based Channel and BravoPB.com. I'm doing a quick demo on dressings. One which I have never made before, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out great, and I will explain to you why. And then another one which I recently came up with and people have been loving it. And so here it is. The first one is going to be a smoky corn dressing. And the second one is going to be a Indian mustard dressing. So I hope you enjoy this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some corn in here. And so this is roasted corn kernels. We got some fresh corn in the kitchen. We shucked it, and then we pull the silk off, throw it in the oven, 350 degrees. As you can see some of the brown in there. That's from the roasted part. And so I'm throwing some of that in the oven. I'm throwing some of that in the Vitamix. I'm gonna throw in a couple halves, so basically one avocado in here. And the thought process here is that I have something sweet and starchy, which will help me with the consistency of the dressing. And just one avocado to give it a little bit of a creamy feel to it. My smokiness is gonna come from a little bit of smoked paprika that I'm throwing in, just a hint. All right, so now I have a sweet, smoky flavor profile in here. I'm gonna squeeze a half a lime in here. And what I'm trying to do is just add a little bit of acidity to help offset the smokiness and the sweetness. So I'm basically trying to round off the flavor, quote unquote, give it a little bit of contrast, so the flavor is just well rounded. So although I've never done this before, and I'm actually going to do a full lime, although I've never done this one before, I know that it's going to come out great because I got some good contrasting flavors. To it I have some green onions. So I divided up the green onions between the white parts here, which I'm going to put in a couple there. And then I have some of the green parts as well. These we're going to use as garnish. So basically I have my ingredients there. I now add my vegetable broth. And then we blend. All right. Once I blend, I'm put a spoon in there and I'm sort of checking for consistency. So this guy is just a little bit thick. So all I gotta do is add a little bit more broth. Give it a quick pulse. Just like that. And at this point, now I got the consistency that I'm looking for. And I'm looking for a dressing consistency. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna taste it, just to kind of see where the flavors are at. And like I said, even though I've never done this one before, the sweetness from the corn is there. The smokiness from the paprika comes after the sweetness. And I don't taste the lime, but it just gives it enough acidity to give it a nice bit of contrast. So now to finish off, I'm simply gonna throw some of these green onion parts in there. And I'm gonna pulse it again just for a little bit so that I get a little bit of green specks in with the dressing. And just like that, I'm basically just wanting to chop it up a little bit. Now I get a clean spoon, and now I get a few of those specks in there from the onion. And so, fairly simple. Give it another taste. Now I actually get those little chunks of the dressing in as I'm tasting it, so I can taste a little bit more onion. And so it's the sweetness and the smokiness and a little bit of spicy there from the onion, and just enough of the acidity from the lime juice to give it a nice, well-rounded flavor. So fairly simple. I hope you enjoy that. Okay, and now we're gonna make another very simple one, our Indian mustard dressing. So for this one, the The key ingredient here are the Indian spices. I have some cumin seed, coriander seed, some mustard seed, and some turmeric. All that went into this nice little tray, baked in the oven, 350 degrees for about 5 minutes. So basically I just wanted to toast the spices. And now I'm going to carefully get them all in here. The ratio of the spices was 1-to-1 for all of them, so equal parts of the, again, turmeric, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, and mustard seeds. So that's in. I'm gonna throw in a handful of cashews in here. And my mustard, so this is a West Spray Stone Ground no salt added mustard, and I'm gonna be pretty liberal with this. This is a 8-ounce container. I'm pretty much using all of it, really. So all the mustard goes in. Excellent. I happen to have a little bit of the onions left from the previous dressing, so I'm gonna add 3 of those white parts of the onion. If you have a shallot, a piece of white onion, even a red onion, that'll be fine to throw in there. And now I add my broth. And here's a quick trick that I do sometimes. I'll chop up the cashews in there because I know it's gonna be a little bit to get them to be completely smooth. I don't particularly like graininess in my dressings. So if I'm using cashews for a dressing or any other nut, I'll just chop it up for like 30 seconds, leave it alone, and then I allow all the pieces to soak in there with the rest of the ingredients. So that allows for the cashews to soften up. But since we're in a hurry, we're just gonna go. Another trick that I do sometimes is you see the pieces that get stuck here on top of the blender. What I'll do is I'll make sure I have my hand on top of the blender, and then I'll start it at high speed, you know, from 0 to high. And what that does is it throws up the dressing all the way to the top, and then it helps it to bring everything down. That's sort of the lazy way if you don't want to grab a spatula and clean off the sides. Just like with the corn, smoky corn dressing, I am relying on that little bit of acidity to give me a nice balance. The acidity in this case comes from the vinegar used in the mustard. And now I'm looking at the texture. It's pretty thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more broth. You can always add a little bit more, but once it's, you know, too thin, then that's when you have issues. So I always underdo the broth just to make sure. And now finally, I check it again. Now it's got the nice creamy texture. Beautiful. Got a nice yellow color. I see a lot of the this way. I see a lot of the specks from all the spices in there, so I don't necessarily need a garnish. This is pretty, you can see the flavor in there already. Give it a quick taste. Pretty delicious, actually. And again, that little bit of acidity from the mustard in with all those Indian spices, it makes a wonderful, wonderful dish. So I really hope you enjoyed this quick demo. Probably dressings and sauces are one of the things that people ask me about all the time, because, you know, a good dressing can make a boring salad go down much easier. So again, hit the subscribe button if you like this video. If you're looking for more insights about plant-based cooking, you can certainly check out bravopb.com and sign up for one of my online cooking courses. So thanks everybody, take care.